Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking Doomfist. Specifically, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the community's opinions about the hero and debunking some popular misconceptions surrounding him. To do this, we'll address two main subjects. Firstly, we'll deal with how win rate stats are used as evidence to justify the opinion that Doomfist is too good. Secondly, and shout out to our friend Force Gaming for bringing this subject more into the light of the community's consciousness, we'll be looking at Doomfist's hitbox on his rocket punch and whether or not its large size really is unfair as some people believe it to be. This will be quite a dense video and I ask you guys to try and keep an open mind as much as possible when listening to our arguments, as some of the positions we hold run counter to what you may already be thinking or feeling about the subject. Hero win rate as evidence. The first thing we're going to tackle is when people base their argument for Doomfist being overpowered on his win rate statistic, specifically his win rate at high levels of play. It seems constructive to base an argument on evidence, but one stat alone can be misleading if presented in an incomplete way. Anyone can look up Doomfist's win rate on a website like Overbuff. I'll show you right now what it is at Grandmaster level exclusively. It's 57.63%. That's quite high. Well, try to look at his win rate in context with his pick rate at GM. His pick rate is 1.88%, so better players are picking him only when he's applicable and winning more with him as a result. There's also the small fact that if you compare Doomfist's win rate at GM to a lot of the hero cast, it's not an outlier. Take a look at this. This is all the hero win rates at GM. Winston has 56.38%, Genji has 56.12%, and Zen has 57.95%, and they're all in the top 5 most played heroes. So Doomfist is overpowered like Zen is? That doesn't ring true. But there's another way to look at the list. Most of the heroes win more than they lose. That's because their stats are collected from the best players. It's almost like their win rates are higher because these players are better, so they win more in general, not just with one hero. GMs don't just play against other GMs, there aren't enough of them. They play against Masters players as well. Of course they win more often against weaker opposition. An important part of this is the realization that heroes don't win games, players do. You can see that when you compare Doomfist's global win rate to just the GM version of the stat. Doomfist wins 51.99% of the games he's used in. That's much lower, obviously. Maybe high level players win more with him because they understand his applicability better. There's also another factor. Doomfist is genuinely new in terms of playstyle. People will not be used to punishing him when he's played badly. He'll get away with things that he shouldn't, so his win rate will be a little higher than it should be until the player base adjusts accordingly. But let's look at another hero. At the same level of play, Symmetra has a win rate of 61.99%. Now you could draw all sorts of inaccurate conclusions if you were only using Symmetra's win rate to calculate whether she was too strong, and this is the reason why. Symmetra is an incredibly niche hero. At GM level she is only picked to full hold on certain points, discounting one tricks obviously. So GMs are only picking her when she's applicable and winning, or if that doesn't work, they swap off her immediately to win on another hero. Does that sound familiar? You can tell that by her shockingly low pick rate stat, which is 0.57%. So what's happening is that Symmetra's win rate is being boosted by outright wins on her own in the very specific scenarios where she's good and the times where she's picked but people swap off because she's not working and win anyway. Stats are recorded in 10-minute sections. If a player full holds, it's 4 minutes added to that stat, but if they lose and swap, it doesn't count as a 100% loss. But if you were to just look at her win rate without the context of her pick rate and the decision making of the better players in GM, then you could lead yourself astray. But nobody really believes Symmetra to be overpowered. It's obvious that she's not. The Doomfist argument is coloured by the fact that he's a damage hero. People have expectations of him that don't apply when they're thinking about Sim. Let's look at the facts. Doomfist is one of the most counterable heroes in the entire game, but he's also one of the sharpest edges if used in the right context. He's a boom-bust hero by nature. Doomfist is not Soldier 76, who can be played in many comps without much worry, but the price for that dexterity is Soldier's lack of a defined edge. Doomfist is literally the opposite of that. Despite the attention high-level one-tricks get, it's much less common in the highest levels to have the attitude that playing something that isn't working is just totally fine. GMs pick him in the right place and swap when it isn't working faster, therefore winning more games. Rocket Punch hitbox. Now that we've looked at his win rate, let's analyse the other big bugbear that portions of the community have with Doomfist, and that's his hitbox on his Rocket Punch. Now a big shout out to Force Gaming here. He made an excellent video about this which we'll link in the description in case you haven't seen it. I'll use some screenshots from it to illustrate some of my points. Now on a superficial level, Doomfist's hitbox looks very large, but consider this. Hitboxes in Overwatch are large large overall. Think of other attacks. Ryan's hammer swing is way larger. Projectile weapons in general have big hitboxes to make them easier to hit. Even the standard melee of all heroes is actually larger than Rocket Punch, at least horizontally. They're all sizable. Genji's Reflect is much larger than people would assume too. It's not the size of the hitbox, it's the context. People see Rocket Punch's hitbox and think, that's attached to a one-shot ability that cools down every 4 seconds, that's overpowered. Well, if it were that simple, then Doomfist would just kill everything, every game, all the time. We know by looking at his win rate earlier, that's not the case. So the context is that Doomfist has a very sharp edge, but it's limited in how and when you can apply it. People sometimes forget that Overwatch is played in a laggy environment, and that even hit scan hitboxes aren't exactly model accurate to account for that fact. It's not like he's old Roadhog with 600 HP and self-healing. Doomfist is brittle, but explosive. Having big hitboxes on abilities serves a purpose in actually being able to use them in the lag we all play under. If Doomfist's hitbox was much smaller, it would make his edge that much more difficult to apply, and probably become much less viable even in the context in which he's currently good. That is something I don't believe the community would actually want if confronted with the real in-game consequences. It's dangerous to have knee-jerk reactions to new elements in a game. Everyone wanted the game to change, and Doomfist adds a new dynamic which encourages interplay, despite those who haven't mastered that interplay yet finding it jarring. Many heroes in Overwatch accomplish incredible feats with the press of one button. With these superpowers at hand, every player is bound to dislike one of them, but it's that very mischievous fun that gives players joy, and with Junkrat, Hog, Widow and Orisa all getting buffed, you likely can soon have the joy of playing these new and improved heroes that all in their own way are great against Doomfist. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss a video of ours again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in good company. And finally, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter. It's where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.